Jumia has recorded reduction in losses in Nigeria, which is good news, yes. And they might also be unrolling new services in Egypt. So what's happening with that?
Reduced operating losses are no longer a new thing for Jumia. It's something they've been working on, I think, for the last 3-4 quarters, working very hard at ensuring their operating expenses go down. They are losing less money because for a very long time, it was the popular refrain was Jumia is losing money, Jumia is losing money. And they're working very hard at doing that as they push for profitability. So it's hardly a new development, but they also lost 1 million customers
That's it.
in the last quarter. They lost 1 million customers in the last quarter, and they gave a few reasons. The normal story we've been hearing, macroeconomic conditions. So the FX contraction in Nigeria, for example, was one reason they give. In Kenya also, which is one of their markets, Kenya has had, I can't remember the exact numbers, but they've also experienced similar inflation to Nigeria. So it has affected purchasing power, obviously, of consumers, which just means they are less likely to purchase certain items. And it has like knock-on effects. So yes, it has led to... so there's reduction in operating losses, but there's also reduction in sales, there's reduction in advertising, there's reduction in practically everything. So yes, apparently hand is meeting everybody.
I'm telling you.
In
and
this
I
space.
particularly feel bad for Jumia because they spent a lot, right, when it comes to like advertising and all those things. I think last year, was it Q1 or Q2, they spent like $22 million on advertising. They cut it down a lot this year, right?
Said 70% or
yes, and it makes sense that yes, you spent so much then. I believe they acquired a lot of customers as well. But then this year came with its wahala and all the economic troubles, the economic realities. And now after spending that much and then you now cut spending this time, now that you're now supposed to like be enjoying the fruits of your labor. I don't want to say
the African governments happened to you.
And I don't know how I feel.
Some people will have a different opinion to that.
To what I said, right?
Yes. So I've heard people say that of course you can blame companies all you want, but
I'm really not blaming them.
No, you're not, but like you could, a lot of companies could have actually seen that things were going to get bad. Right? A lot of people say that it's not like it was sudden. It's not a sudden development.
Well,
right?
I really don't see the way out for what they do. I don't see the way out.
Of course, it's not like you up and leave, but it's so. For example, I see you walking in the middle of Third Mainland. I don't need anybody to tell me that you're going to die very soon. So if I see you die, if someone sees that you are lying on the road, crushed with your brain splattered, sorry, that was graphic.
You have to be so vivid.
Yeah, but if someone sees you, the person shouldn't be surprised. You were walking in the middle of the road. So if you're operating in Nigeria, I think in Nigeria, in Africa, because since last year we've had, it's either inflation in Egypt, Kenya, even South Africa, right? So we were talking about MTN earlier and the unused broadband. So electricity load shedding has forced a lot of people to start rationing the way they use their data, right? So some people are now having to wait up. In fact, poverty as well is making some people to wait up at night to use night plans to browse. Right? That shows you that basically the economies across Africa are not.
But here's the thing here. You knew that it was going to get bad, but you didn't know exactly how bad it was going to get. So for example, now with Nigeria, you probably could not guess that they would start the floating naira thing. It was not something that was on our radar. We knew that 12 subsidy was coming. Everybody that was going to be removed. Everybody knew that it was coming. Everybody knew that. But things like the floating naira, things like how the exchange rate has like.
So what I think a lot of Nigerian businesses did not prepare for was the sky high rate of the dollar. but a lot of them have been clamoring for a unification of the naira. So you hear people say Nigeria defies economics, and others say no, it doesn't defy economics. It's just that you do one thing, but you're expecting another. Some people have always wanted this unification of the naira for obvious reasons, because it makes it easier for you to, or it should make it easier for
Thank God
you
you added it
to
should.
get your FX supplies. But really, for Jumia, I think they have like their history that they were probably looking at, and they knew that maybe things like this could happen, that they could lose a lot of money. But I mean, it's not all bad. It's not all bad. It's probably going to take them a while to get to profitability, which is what they are pushing for.
Yeah.
It's going to take a while. But yeah, to the second part of that story, they are launching buy now pay later services or they could be launching buy now pay later services in Egypt. And so why do I say could? Because they haven't said we are doing this tomorrow. They've been working on Jumia Pay and trying to sort of position Jumia Pay as an alternative for their users for, I think, the last 1 or 2 years now. And they have, according to the report, they have been conducting some trials, building partnerships in Egypt. They have about 10 partnerships with banks and fintechs in Egypt. So the idea is to offer buy now pay later services to third parties through the Jumia Pay app. So they're just going to be like maybe like a carbon in a way. They are connecting you to these guys. You get the money. They take a cut of it, and I think it's an interesting play that could see them significantly increase Jumia Pay revenues, because Jumia Pay revenues have been dropping. They haven't been promoting some services like airtime recharge, data, and all of that, because they say it costs a lot of money for them to promote those services, and then they can't recoup it. So they're trying to promote services that have higher that bring higher economic value to them. So by launching buy now pay later services, I think they could be able to drive significant growth, because of course they're starting in Egypt. There's a way, I don't know, buy now pay later is like loan. Egypt is predominantly Muslim.
Yeah.
So you need to consider all of that. But I think it could help to boost their revenues. And I'm assuming that the trial in Egypt, they'll launch in other markets shortly, because that's what they did this Jumia Pay on delivery. So yes, you have Jumia Pay as your payment option, but you can also do pay on delivery, which has been probably the most effective payment method for delivery companies in Nigeria. So they've tried Jumia Pay on delivery in Kenya, and they said they recorded some success. Now I'm assuming they're going to be launching in other markets shortly. So yeah, Jumia Pay might be what helps them to just stay alive until other parts of their business picks up. So
Okay.
fingers crossed.
All the best to them.